In an electrifying showdown that will be remembered as one of the most dramatic chapters in AEW history, Team AEW defied staggering odds, shocking the wrestling world by conquering a 6-on-5 disadvantage to win the men's blood and guts match. Held inside the unforgiving double cage structure that defines the match's brutal identity, this clash showcased everything AEW fans cherish: strategy, grit, teamwork, and a willingness to risk it all for victory. Blood and Guts, known for its raw intensity and career-altering consequences, has long represented the pinnacle of faction warfare in all elite wrestling. This year's battle was no different, with an extra opponent staring them down and the steel cage closing around both teams like a battlefield. Team AEW entered prepared for war. What unfolded was an unforgettable spectacle that redefined the resilience and brotherhood at the core of AEW's roster. From the moment the show opened, energy pulsed through the arena. Fans knew they were about to witness something special. Blood and Guts matches are annual highlights, but the narrative surrounding this year's confrontation added an extra layer of drama. Team AEW had been targeted, outnumbered, and provoked for weeks by their rivals, who boasted not just numerical dominance but also a unified confidence that bordered on arrogance. Speculation swirled online in the hours leading up to bell time. How would Team AEW compensate for the numbers disadvantage? Would a mystery sixth member appear? Could an injured superstar return to even the odds? AEW remained tight-lipped, fueling tension and speculation until the moment the cage door finally closed. To the surprise of many, Team AEW refused to add a sixth man at the last minute. Their decision symbolized unity, trust, and defiance. They entered with 5, short-handed but not short-spirited. Their message was clear: victory would come on their terms. Blood and Guts operates under a unique format that amplifies chaos and storytelling. 2 rings placed side by side, surrounded by a towering steel cage. Wrestlers entering at timed intervals. No pinfalls, victory only by submission or surrender. Weapons allowed, brutality expected. The structure rewards endurance, tactical thinking, and calculated aggression. Outnumbered teams often struggle, especially in early phases where staggered entrances can lead to temporary but dangerous 2-on-1 scenarios. Team AEW understood this challenge better than anyone and prepared accordingly. The match began with the traditional 1-on-1 opening, and despite being down a member overall, Team AEW's first entrant delivered a performance that set the tone. Displaying agility and ring awareness, he dodged early offense and countered with crisp strikes that rallied the crowd. When the opposing team's next member entered, the temporary 2-on-1 advantage quickly became apparent. The punishment intensified. Steel bars, cage walls, and the unforgiving ring apron were all used as tools of destruction. But Team AEW's representative refused to fall easily, surviving long enough for the next teammate to enter and restore balance, at least momentarily. This cycle repeated as the match progressed, with Team AEW continually fighting from underneath. Every time they gained momentum, another member of the opposing faction would charge into the cage with fresh aggression. Yet instead of breaking, the AEW squad found ways to adapt. Their strategy emphasized quick double-team combinations, smart positioning, and protecting their injured members. They managed to prevent their rivals from capitalizing on their advantage for too long. Blood and Guts is never complete without weaponry, and soon enough, chairs, tables, chains, and trash cans found their way into the carnage. The cage itself became a weapon, faces raked along the mesh, bodies thrown against the steel, and opponents dragged across the unforgiving structure. Team AEW used their surroundings cleverly. They set traps, created openings, and turned defense into offense through improvisation. Chairs were used not only as striking tools but as shields, leverage devices, and platforms for aerial maneuvers. Each moment felt calculated, as though Team AEW had studied every square inch of the environment. Their rivals, on the other hand, leaned heavily on brute force. Their sixth member eventually entered with an air of confidence, mocking the AEW faithful and laying out opponents with raw power. For a moment, the imbalance looked overwhelming. Team AEW appeared cornered, fatigue setting in as they absorbed hit after hit. But what makes Blood and Guts special is its unpredictability. Momentum can shift in an instant, and that moment was coming. As the match reached its full team phase, all 11 men were inside the cage, creating chaotic visuals that had fans on their feet. The atmosphere felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode. Team AEW initiated a rally that left the arena shaking. Their comeback started with a perfectly timed combo attack that isolated one of their opponents in the corner. Another was neutralized through a submission hold applied simultaneously while a teammate executed a diving strike from the ropes. Then came the turning point. One member of Team AEW scaled the cage wall with determination. Perched high above the carnage, he balanced himself as the crowd roared in anticipation. And in one leap of courage, bordering on insanity, he launched himself off the structure, crashing down onto a cluster of opponents below. The arena erupted. Momentum had shifted with breathtaking force. Even the commentators, often hardened by years of wrestling experience, seemed stunned. That colossal risk did more than deliver damage. It reinvigorated Team AEW, inspiring them to push beyond physical limits. Now on equal footing emotionally, if not numerically, Team AEW unleashed one of the most well-orchestrated stretches in Blood and Guts history. Their teamwork was flawless. Members covered for one another, coordinated attacks with split-second accuracy, and executed transitions that made them seem like a single, unified organism. They targeted weakened opponents, used the cage corners to apply double submissions, and separated the rival team into smaller clusters. By doing so, they neutralized the numerical disadvantage. Facing 6 men became the same as facing 2 at a time. Their unity contrasted sharply with their opponents, who began showing cracks. Miscommunication, desperation, and panic set in. Tempers flared between members of the opposing team, with one superstar shoving another in frustration. This lack of cohesion played into AEW's hands, allowing them to capitalize on brief moments of vulnerability. With exhaustion setting in for all 11 competitors, the match entered its final, most brutal phase. Blood stained the mats. Breathing was heavy. Movements slowed, but the will to win pushed every athlete forward. In one unforgettable exchange, a Team AEW member locked in a submission hold while using the cage to torque the pressure. Another teammate intercepted a rescue attempt with a strike that echoed across the arena. For nearly a minute, it seemed the match might end then and there, until a rival broke the hold with a steel chain. The battle continued to escalate toward the theatrical and emotional threshold Blood and Guts is known for. Multiple wrestlers were thrown between the rings, slammed into exposed turnbuckles, and choked with chains. At one point, a member of the opposing side attempted a power move near the cage wall, only to be reversed into a stunning counter that left him limp on the mat. The crowd chanted relentlessly, switching between support for Team AEW and expressions of awe at the sheer physicality before them. Team AEW managed to separate one of the rival faction's strongest members from the rest, cutting off escape routes and trapping him between the rings. Surrounded by 4 Team AEW members, he momentarily fought back with desperation-fueled strikes, but the numbers that once favored his team now worked against him. 2 simultaneous submissions were applied, one targeting his neck, the other his legs. A third teammate used the cage wall to amplify the pressure. The trapped opponent screamed in agony, refusing to quit at first. His teammates tried desperately to intervene, but Team AEW blocked every attempt. Eventually, with no escape, no relief, and no hope, he tapped out. The arena erupted. The bell rang. Team AEW had done the impossible. Despite being outnumbered from the start, they forced a surrender and claimed victory in one of the most dramatic endings the match type has ever seen. As the cage began to lift, bodies lay scattered across the canvas. The victorious Team AEW members struggled to stand, supporting one another physically and emotionally. Tears, exhaustion, and relief filled their faces. This was more than a win, it was a statement. The commentary team emphasized the emotional significance of the match. This victory was not just about athleticism or violence, it was about heart, unity, and resilience. It proved that AEW's identity lies not just in star power but in the collective spirit of its performers. Meanwhile, the defeated team retreated slowly, some glaring back angrily, others visibly frustrated with their internal conflicts. Their loss, especially with a 6-on-5 advantage, may very well spark tension or storyline fallout in the coming weeks. Team AEW's triumph will have long-lasting implications for ongoing narratives. In the aftermath of such a monumental matchup, several possibilities emerge. 1. Elevation of Team AEW members. Victory in such harsh circumstances significantly elevates each member's credibility. Their perseverance will likely lead to new opportunities, championship pursuits, or leadership roles within the company. 2. Cracks in the opposition. The rival team's unity seems compromised. Their failure to finish the match despite an extra man will likely create internal conflict, betrayals, or even the dissolution of the faction. 3. Renewed fan investment. Fans who witnessed this spectacle will remain emotionally invested for months. Blood and guts matches are known to reset momentum and generate fresh rivalries, and this was no exception. 4. AEW's brand identity intensified. AEW prides itself on showcasing wrestling that blends athleticism with storytelling. This match reaffirmed that philosophy, providing content fans will discuss for years. Every year, AEW aims to raise the bar with blood and guts, but this year's edition may go down as the most emotionally charged and creatively triumphant in company history. Defeating a six-man team while only fielding 5 competitors is more than an upset, it's a narrative masterpiece. Team AEW walked into enemy territory with the odds heavily stacked against them. They walked out as warriors. Their victory was not defined by brutality alone, but by strategy, bravery, and heart, the hallmarks of true competition. Fans will remember this battle not only for its violence but for what it represented: resilience, brotherhood, and the unbreakable spirit of all elite wrestling.